Okay, so we had finished till 15th chapter in the last session. Today we'll start with the 16th adhyay. Very interesting, very interesting, very important from exam point of view and for ourselves, for our life. Daivasur Sampad Vibhaga Yog. Daivasur, that means Daiva and Asur. The qualities of both these entities have been mentioned. What are the Daivi qualities and what are the Asuri qualities? So every person, if you look at from our point of view, each and every person possesses few of Daivi qualities and some of Asuri qualities. Now, when we learn about both the qualities, just I want you all to reflect which all qualities from the saintly qualities, or we say the Devi Sampadaya, do you have, and which are the Asuri qualities that you have. Asuri doesn't literally mean demonic, it is just to help you understand that there are some qualities which are good for us, for our growth, to lead a happy life, and there are qualities which will make you suffer. So those qualities are called as Asuri. Now, in first 3 shlokas, 26 saintly qualities, or which we call as Daivi Sampada, have been explained. Only in 3 shlokas, 26 qualities are mentioned. And there are only 6 demonic qualities, that is Asuri Sampada. And they have been discussed in detail from in 4th, 7th to 20th shlok. So you have to understand, for saintly qualities, only 3 shlokas, though the qualities are 26. Demonic qualities or Asuri Sampada, only 6 qualities. But these 6 qualities, Bhagwan has described it in detail. Why? Because they are very important. We need to understand what are these qualities. These qualities have been described only in 1 shlok. But if you have any of these qualities, what are the repercussions? What do we face in life and also after that, after death? How is our path? That Bhagavan has described in detail. Now remember, for developing saintly qualities or Daivi Sampada, you really need to work hard. One by one, you have to inculcate in you those 26 qualities. It takes effort, it takes time. Demonic quality or Asuri Sampada, one comes. If you have one Asuri Sampada, others will quickly come running after. You don't have to make any efforts. खुद ब खुद आ जाते हैं. वो बिन बुलाए मेहमान होते हैं ना, उस तरीके से सारे असुरी संपदा आ जाते हैं. That's why what we need to do is we need to be very careful about the qualities that are there in us. Now, the first shlok of this adhyay will read all the 3 shlokas in which 26 qualities Devi Sampada have been briefed. Let's understand which are these qualities. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danandamascha Yajñascha Svadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ahimsa Satyamakrodhas Tyagashantirapaishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Mardavam Hridachapalam. Third shlok. Tejah Kshama Dhrute Shaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadan Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. Here are the list of 26 qualities, and I've mentioned it in the same order that have been mentioned in the above shlokas. First is Abhay. Bhay means fear. Abhay means fearlessness. Now, here fearlessness means that there are a lot of situations in life where you need to face the situation. You need courage. And if you're afraid of facing the situation, that means you're running away from the situation, you're not solving the situation. It is like temporary clicking the pause button. So the problem doesn't go, the problem is still there. It is just that you are scared, you are afraid. So you're not finding out the solution. So here Bhagwan is saying that you should be abhay, that means fearless. Sattva samshuddhi, purity of mind. Purity of mind means in Yam Niyam also, Patanjali Rishi has mentioned about purity. Purity of mind means not even bad thoughts should come in your mind. Even your mind should have good thoughts only. Even in your mind, you should not think of harming anyone, doing bad to anyone, or thinking bad about anyone, no matter what that person has done. So, Sattva Samshuddhi. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi. I have purposely mentioned all the Sanskrit words over here because from exam point of view, you need to know the Sanskrit words. They might ask you the Sanskrit word and if this is a Daivi Sampadaya or Asuri Sampadaya. So you need to know. Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, that means established in the pursuit of Jnana or Yoga. That means that person, or we should always be in search of knowledge. Who we are. What is the nature of our real self? Dana. Ability to share one's wealth with others. Whatever we earn. It is, Bhagwan is not saying that donate everything. He is saying that if someone is in need, you should have that mindset, that quality in you to help that person. Now, dan could be in terms of like monetary dan, okay, or monetary charity, or it could be helping someone, like physically helping someone who is in need. So dan can be of various types. Even monetary also, Bhagwan is not telling to donate 100% of whatever you have earned. But a small portion can definitely go in charity. Then is dam. Dam is discipline of sensory energies. That means control on your senses. Yajna. Yajna means sacrifice by worship and other practices. We have already discussed about yajna in detail. Swadhyay means self-study. That it's not that अभी नेट एग्जाम हो गया मेरा पढ़ाई हो गया. I'm talking about the practical life. You should, even after you clear your NET exam, JRF exam, still you should continue studying Upanishad, Bhagavad Geeta, whatever topics are there. Why? Because as you study, you will understand each and every topic in detail. And when you're studying it, automatically, unconsciously, those things are inculcated in your life, in your day-to-day routine also. And that is how you will grow. Your knowledge as a person also will grow. I have given the example of NET exam, but you can relate it to your entire life. If you want to grow as a person, if you want to have the Daivi Sampada in you, develop these qualities, good qualities in you, you need to practice it again and again, every day. Like Patanjali Rishi also tells us, सतु दीर्घ काल निरंतर आसेवितो दृढ़ भूमि. अभ्यास कैसा करना चाहिए? How should we study? Then continuously with complete faith, without any doubt and for a long period of time. आज किया कल रहने देते हैं, जो कल छुट्टी लेते हैं, कल मुझे बाहर घूमने जाना है, that cannot happen. Then tap. Tap is concentration of all the energies of the mind. That also we have discussed in detail, and we will also discuss in detail later on. Arjavam, that means straightforwardness. Whatever you feel, whatever is there in your mind, you should be open and you should have the courage to put forth whatever is there in your mind. What happens is that we have something in mind, but we say something else at times. So that shouldn't be there. Ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. Again, ahimsa here means kaik, vachik, and mansik. That means you should follow non-violence in physical terms. Means physically you should not harm anyone. That is kaik. Vachik means you should not harm anyone with your words or your speech. The other person should not get hurt. And mansik means in your mind also you should not think of harming anyone. Even if you think about it, that is also ahimsa. Now, satya, speak the truth. Akrodha, krodha is anger. Akrodha is absence of anger in every situation. Anger doesn't help us in any way at all. It is just that we get anger just like the coal. If you burn the coal, it burns and turns into an ash. Similarly, anger burns us from inside. Remember, anger will burn all the good qualities that are in you. So anger, I feel, according to me personally, I'm not talking about Bhagavad Gita, but anger is something that doesn't help you in any way in life, in any situation at all. So let's try to practice a krodha in our day-to-day life also. Then is tyaga. It is not styaga, I will correct it. Tyaga, that means detachment or renunciation. Shanti, that is peacefulness. You should be peaceful. Apaishunam, absence of ill feeling towards others. You should not think bad about others. Daya Bhuteshwar, that means compassion. You should have, Daya is compassion. You should have compassion. Bhuteshwar means compassion towards all beings, even towards animals, birds. They cannot express. So a lot of videos in FB and everywhere are coming that, people are harming the pets. People are doing bad things to them. So Bhagwan here is telling that you should have compassion towards all living beings. You don't like pets, it's fine. At least don't harm them. Alo luptvam, that means uncovetousness, not having the feeling that someone has something, I also must have it. We do have that feeling somewhere, not for everything, but at times we do feel, oh, that person has such a nice dress. Even I wish I had that. Oh, she has styled that sari so well. I wish I could style it. So, hello, Luptum. Okay, fine. She's looking beautiful. Oh, that is nice. Very good. It's not important that we should also have, because when that feeling comes that I also must have, then comes jealousy, then it follows. It's a staircase, or not staircase, basically, it is a slide. You fall down, you go down. It doesn't take you, or you cannot work forward in your spiritual journey. Mardavam is gentleness. Be gentle in your speech, in your actions. Re is modesty. Now here, re, modesty means shying away from doing wrong things. We know something is wrong, but at times we still do it. So here Bhagavan is telling that you should be modest. If you know that this is not right, you should not do it. That here Bhagavan is calling as modesty or re. Achapalam, lack of fickleness. That means your mind should be stable. Tej. Tej is vigor. Shama, forgiveness. You should have the quality of forgiveness. What happens is, that last month, this person had done this thing to me. I will not forgive. You remember that? So next time that person comes to your house, you will be, I had gone to her house. She did not offer me anything to eat. So now today, I will also not ask for anything. A very small day-to-day life. Okay, didn't offer or whatever, fine. If unknowingly, knowingly, that person has hurt you, said something because of which you felt bad, just forgive. Because forgiveness is going to help you be a better person. And not forgiving the other person, nothing happens to that person. But that thing remains in our mind and we are burdened with it. So just forgive. Whatever happens, just forgive people. You will feel good. We will feel good. Dhruti is fortitude, or you can say courage. Even in yoga, if you have to perform certain shuddhi kriyas, jalaneti or dandaneti, dandadhauti, you need courage to perform it. If balancing asanas, some difficult asanas, you need courage to do it. Similarly, to face certain situations in life, you need courage to face it. So, Triti, Shaucham, that is cleanliness. Now, here, cleanliness, again, internal cleanliness as well as external. We bathe, we brush our teeth. So, external cleanliness we take care of. But internal cleanliness is also important. Shaucham. Then, for internal cleanliness, Shuddhi Kriyas have been told internal cleanliness also refers to cleanliness of your mind, of your thoughts also. Adroho, bearing enmity towards none. So don't think that the other person thinks bad about it or bad about you, or don't have the feeling of enmity. I don't like this one. I don't like that one. I will not talk to this one. I will not invite her for my birthday. Don't have that feeling. Let everybody be at one level for you. Anati manita means expectation of honor. Don't expect others to respect you. Respect yourself. I always follow that principle. Why should I expect others to respect me? First, the foremost thing is I should respect myself. I should feel good about myself. I should have a very clear conscious. Automatically other people will respect you. You will get that honor, but don't keep that expectation, because when you expect and if the person doesn't behave in that way, then you are hurt. So don't expect honor or respect from others. If you get it, fine. Otherwise, just leave it. Now, Bhagwan in the fifth shlok is telling us what happens or what is the fruit of Daivi Sampada. So if you have these qualities in you, what is the fruit? What will you get? Because as I told you in the starting, for each and every Daivi Sampadaya, these qualities, you really have to make a lot of effort. So if you're making that effort, you're taking so much of pains to develop these qualities. Bhagwan is very soft at heart. Immediately he gives us or he rewards us. So what is the reward? That is discussed in the fifth shlok. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya surimata ma shucha sampadan daivim abhijatosi pandava. Bhagwan here is telling that the divine nature is deemed for liberation, that is moksha. This Daivi Sampadaya, the fruit of Daivi Sampadaya is moksha, mukti, liberation. You are free from the cycle of birth and death. You're free from the cycle of karma. And further, Bhagwan tells us that those who don't have these Daivi qualities, or if you have demonical qualities in you, then what happens? The demonical qualities they lead to bondage. Now, very important topic from exam point of view, 3 doors to hell. या नरक के 3 द्वार. It is asked many times in exam. नरक के 3 द्वार. त्रिविधं नरकस्येदं द्वारन्नाशनमात्मनः कामक्रोधस्तथा लोभस्तस्मादेतत्त्रयं त्यजेत्. Which are the 3 doors to hell? Huh? Why a person goes to hell or narak that we call. So Bhagwan is telling us that there are 3 gates leading us to hell or self-destruction of a soul. And what are the 3 doors? Kam, Krodh, and Lobh. You have to remember these words also, Kam, Krodh, and Lobh. And English words for them, lust, anger, and greed. If you have any of these qualities, even one of these 3 qualities, the doors to hell or the door to Narak are going to be open for you. You'll be welcome in Narak, but which we don't want to go, right? So these are the 3 qualities that one should not have or abstain from having. Now, for your understanding, I have just put it in a chart. I've copied it. 3 gates to hell, that is lust, anger, and greed. Kam, Krodh, and Lobh. What happens because of them? It leads to the degradation of the soul. And Krishna advises us to give up these qualities and act conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attain the supreme destination. So Bhagwan tells us that give up these 3 qualities. Even if you have one of these, just give them up. Be free from it and work towards self-realization. Work towards the self-knowledge or jnana. Only then you will attain the supreme destination or the abode of the supreme. Now, the same thing has been explained in the shlokas. How or what should you do then for that? To avoid the 3 doors, that is Kama, Krodh, and Lobh, the 3 doors of hell. If you want to avoid it, what to do? So Bhagwan is giving the solution also. So Bhagwan has only told the problem and Bhagwan is giving the solution also. Tasmat shastram pramanante karya vyavasthitau jyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum hi harhase. Beautifully said. Bhagwan tells us that if you want to be free from hell or if you don't want to go to Narak, what you should do? Simple solution. Let the scriptures be your authority. That means let the Vedas tell you what to do. Whatever is written in our Vedas, whatever is written in the scriptures, if you live accordingly, if you follow whatever has been told, then Kama, Krodh, and Lobh will not arise in your self. And that is how you can avoid the 3 doors to hell. So Bhagavan tells us that understand the spiritual injunctions, whatever is written in the spiritual scriptures, understand it, what is written, what has been told, and perform your activities in the world accordingly. And whatever you find in the scriptures, what have been told in the scriptures, follow it, act accordingly, live your life accordingly. Sorry, do your duties accordingly. And with this, 16th chapter is complete. Very beautiful chapter. So Bhagwan has told about the demonic qualities, the Daivi qualities, that is Daivi Sampradaya. Bhagwan has told what happens. So if you have divine qualities in you, then what will happen? The door to moksha are open. You're free, you're liberated. But if you have demonic qualities in you, what happens? Door to hell opens for you. Then how to avoid it? Bhagavan has given the solution to it, that follow the scriptures. Simple. Whatever has been written in Vedas, just follow it. And you will be free from Narak, or you will not go to the Narak. 17th Adhyay is Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yog. Shraddha means faith. So in this Adhyay, Bhagavan is telling us that depending on the nature of our mind, or how is our mindset, depending on that, everything in our life, it flows. So Bhagavan here is talking about three state of mind, that is sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. The quality of your life, whether it will be happy, whether there will be sorrows, whether there will be difficulties in your life, whether you'll lead a peaceful life, the quality of your life will depend on these three, that is sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. What is the state of your mind? What is the food that you eat? That will also depend how your life will be. So Arjun then asks Krishna, where do they stand who disregard the injunctions of the scripture? Arjun is asking Bhagavan, those people who don't follow. Now in the 16th chapter, Bhagavan has told, follow whatever is written in the scriptures. Here, Arjun is asking, what happens to those who don't follow the scriptures, but still worship with faith? What they worship with faith is their faith in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. That means, is their faith or their shraddha sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? Goodness, passion, and ignorance means sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. On that, Bhagavan tells us that every human being is born with innate faith. They have all these three qualities, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. There is not a single being on this planet who doesn't have these qualities. And Bhagavan tells us, now, listen. Yajante sattvika devan yaksharakshausi rajasaha pretan bhutaganaunschanye yajante tamasa janaha. Now Bhagavan here is telling the sattvic or the pure men who have sattvic qualities in them, they worship the gods. They worship Dev. Those who have rajasic quality dominant in them, they are passionate about the yaksha and rakshas. And the tamasic people, or the people who have a lot of darkness in them, they worship the ghost, or we say the pretatmas. So if sattvic or there is sattva gun dominant, then those people, they worship Dev. Rajasic people, they worship Yaksha and Rakshas. Tamasic people, they worship the ghost. That is what Bhagavan is telling. Then in the next shlok, Ashastra vihitam ghoran tapyante ye tapojanaha dambhahankara sanyuktak kamaraga balanvitaha karshayantah sharirastham bhutagramamachetasah mai chaivantah sharirasthan tan vidhyasura nishchayan. So Bhagavan is telling us that those men who practice terrific austerities, that means those men or those people or those beings who practice tapa. That means follow everything religiously, not enjoyed by the scriptures. They're following few things religiously, they are practicing it, but they are not written in the scriptures. They have not seen it that, okay, in the scriptures, what we are doing is right or wrong. Should we do it? They are not bothered. They are performing the activities continuously, religiously, without understanding whether it is right or wrong. Given to hypocrisy and egoism, impelled by the force of lust and attachment. Those people, they perform actions or activities or duties because of lust and attachment. That means they have desire in them. They want things in life. I want this, I want that. So, and they're attached to the fruits of the action. Now, for example, even if they do dan, which we say charity is a daivi sampadai or a good quality, but they will do dan in such a way that, okay, why will they do? People should know that I have donated. People should know that I'm such a good person. So my name will come in the paper or on the news, or when people are discussing, they will say, oh, that person, he does a lot of charity. So in your mind, you have that aim. So even though you are doing something good, the hetu or the aim behind that is something else. You are attached to the desires, you are attached to honor, senselessly torturing all the elements in the body and me also, who dwells within the body. You may know these to be of demonical results. So Bhagwan is telling here, understand, okay, even if you do certain things like dan or daya, whatever we consider as daivi sampadai, but if you're doing it with the intention of receiving some fruit or to in an intent with an intention to get something, that I will do this, then people will look at it and then I'll be awarded, or people will invite me, honor me because I have done so much of good, then it is again a demonical quality. It doesn't come under daivi good, because when you're expecting something, if when you have lust or attachment or rag or desire, how can it be a divine quality? It cannot be. So you're trying to do a good thing, but behind that the thought process is wrong. In scriptures, what have they told? Do it and forget. Don't expect anything in return. Dan kijiye, do charity and forget. Don't expect. You don't have to tell people that I have done charity or I am doing charity. You don't have to tell. Or I helped this person. You don't have to do it and just forget it. Now, for food also, Bhagwan is telling which food is liked by whom. This also from exam point of view, it is asked. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Which food does which person have? Or consumption of which type of food leads to which quality? Ayu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivardhanaha rasya snegha sthirarudya ahara sattvika priya. Here Bhagwan has told about the sattvic food. Now Bhagwan is telling us about the rajasic food. Katvam lalavanatyoksha तीक्ष्ण रुक्ष विदाहिनः आहारा राजसस्येष्टा दुःख शोकामय प्रदाः. And in the next shlok, Bhagwan is telling about tamasic. What is a tamasic kind of food? Yataya mangatarasam puti paryushitai chayat उच्छिष्टमपि चामेध्यं bhojanam tamasa priyam. So here tamasic food has been described. Okay, now let's understand what are sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, and what are the fruits of it also. Hmm? Let's understand this shlok also. This is a fruit. अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञो विद्धि द्रष्टो य इज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनस् समाधाय स सात्विकः. Now the fruits of all. We'll read these shlokas and then I'll explain you everything. Abhisandhaya च तु फलम् दम्भार्थमपि चैव यत् इच्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तञ्यज्ञौ विद्धि राजसम्. So here Bhagwan is talking about Rajas Yajna. Then विधिहीनमसृष्टान्नम् मन्त्रहीनमदक्षिणम् श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञन् तामसं परिचक्षते. Now here all these things I have just put up in a table for you to understand it easily, and when you're studying for the exam it will be easier for you to study. Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. These are three columns. Now, food. What is a sattvic food, or what does it do? Sattvic food, it increases your life. It gives purity, strength, health, joy, and cheerfulness, which are savory and oleaginous, substantial, and agreeable. So whatever you eat, the sattvic food has all these qualities in them. But if you eat rajasic food, that means the food that is bitter, sour, saline, excessively hot, pungent, dry, and burning, and are productive of pain, grief, and disease. So these are all rajasic foods. Now, what is tamasic food? Anything that is stale, tasteless, putrid, rotten. Putrid means something that is bad smelling. Rotten and impure. These are tamasic kind of foods. So we have to decide what type of a person we want to be, and accordingly we should consume that type of food. Now, in the next shlok, Bhagwan is talking about the yajna. How should the yajna be performed? It should be performed according to scriptural injunctions without expectations of rewards. If you're doing something, whatever has been told in the Vedas, then do it without expecting anything in return, with the firm conviction of mind that it is a matter of duty. That means you have to keep that in mind, that it is my duty. I'm not doing something to get something in return. I'm doing it as a duty, just like we go to the office and whatever work has been told, we do it as a duty and is of the nature of goodness. Now, whatever we do should be done by good mind or pure mind with good thoughts. Now, rajasic yajna, the sacrifice which is offered seeking for fruit and for ostentation. Ostentation means to show off. So if you're performing any action or yajna or duty, if you're doing a certain thing, expecting something in return, or even for a show off, you want to just show people that, oh, I do this, I do that. I gave you an example, like if you're doing charity or if you're helping others, if you're doing it to show off, to show people how good you are, then that is rajasic yajna. What is tamasic? Tamasic is sacrifice devoid of faith. So whatever you're doing, you don't have faith or shraddha in it. And contrary to the injunctions of the scriptures, you don't have faith in your scriptures, you don't have you don't believe in whatever is written, and you do exactly opposite to whatever is written. You know what is not to be done, you know this is wrong, but still you do it, in which no food is offered, no mantras are chanted, and no donation is made. Now here Bhagwan is telling that if you perform a yajna in which no food is offered, there are no mantras that are chanted, because in our scriptures the food, Anna Dan, is considered to be the supreme Dan. Hmm? The mantras are to be chanted, which are good, which gives positive energy. It helps us develop ourselves, or it gives peace to our mind. And no donation, there is no dan that is done. Then any yajna performed in this way is tamasic yajna. Now Bhagwan is telling about tap. Tap. What is a sattvic tap? When worship is done with observance of cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence, then this worship is declared as the austerity of the body. Words that do not cause distress. They are truthful. They are inoffensive and beneficial, as well as regular recitation of Vedic scriptures. These are declared as austerity of speech. Now, here Bhagwan is telling us about tap. How should be our tap? So, Bhagwan is telling that when you're doing any activity or any duty, and if you're following cleanliness, internal as well as external cleanliness, then celibacy. Celibacy means what? Bhagwan is saying that whatever the life that you are leading, okay, Bhagwan is not asking you to not perform any sexual activity, but there is time when you should do with the husband should perform it with their better half, the wife should perform it with her husband only, and it should be done only for procreation, for the reason of procreation, not otherwise. And non-violence, Bhagwan is saying that the tap that is done out of non-violence, there is no violence, then this worship is declared as the austerity of the body. That means Bhagwan is saying that means you are doing this tap for the body, and it is a sattvic tap. So what is the sattvic tap? When you observe cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence, these are the four things, then it is called as a sattvic tap. Then this is for the body. He told us about the body, physical body. Now, how should be your words? How should be your speech? So, Bhagwan then tells that sattvic. These words, whatever you speak, should not hurt others, should not be painful to others. They should be truthful. You should not lie. You should not be manipulative, inoffensive. Don't use any bad words. Whatever you speak should be beneficial to others. It should always help the other person rather than hurting. And also Bhagwan is saying that regular recitation of Vedic scriptures, that is called as austerity of speech. So what is the tap? As far as speech is concerned, that how should be your speech? It should be truthful, it should not hurt others, it should be beneficial for others, it should not be offensive. And regular recitation of Vedic scriptures. Whatever has been written in scriptures, you should speak that only, or you should speak or follow whatever is written in the scriptures. Now, what is Rajasic Tap? Austerity that is performed with the ostentation for the sake of gaining honor. Again, Rajasic people always they want honor. They want someone to reward them, to praise them, to respect them, to adore them. Huh? That is Rajasic. When you perform any action, thinking or having in mind this aspect, then it is called as a Rajasic term. And it's what are its benefit? The person becomes unstable. That person is not stable. His mind is constantly wavering. Now, tamasic tap, austerity that is performed by those with confused notions. If when you perform any action, not knowing what is right and what is wrong, what you should do and what you should not do, and which involves torturing the self. At times, you perform asan. Nowadays, there are a lot of competitions going on. Huh? So to perform those asanas, to winning the competitions, what people do, they will not eat so that they will be slim. They feel that okay, if I reduce weight, my asanas will be good. Huh? Then for the asana to be good, what they do is they twist their body in unnatural way. Also at times, they don't even see if their body is ready. Everybody's body is different. Just because the other person can do this a particular asana nicely doesn't mean that even you can do it. You should know your body. There could be a asana which you can do very nicely, the other person cannot do it. But you torture your body not knowing that this is good for you, good for your body or no. And you torture yourself. So, tap done by torturing the self or harming others is described as tamasic thought. Here, from exam point of view, you have to remember this: cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence. What is Rajasic thought? Honor, respect, adoration. Then what is tamasic? Confused about the notions, which involves torturing the self and harming others. That is tamasic. From exam point of view, you have to remember these words. What comes under sattvic, what comes under rajasic, and what comes under tamasic. Bhagwan further talks about dana or charity. How should you practice dana or how should you do charity? Sattvic dan. What is a sattvic dan? Just giving dan is not enough. There are categories in that also: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Charity given to a worthy person simply because it is a right to give without consideration of anything in return at the proper time and in the proper place is sattvic dan. That means doing charity or giving something to the people who really need it, not because you have to give it. You should understand whatever you are giving, does the other person need it? Only then it is a sattvic dan. You are giving because I have this extra at my place. That is not sattvic dan. You should see if other person needs it. If the other person needs clothes, you should do the charity of clothes. If the other person is in need of financial requirement, then you should help it with the finance. If physical help is needed, for example, there's an old person or old people who are unable to walk, they don't have facilities in the old age home, then if you can provide something that can make their life easy, then do that dan. So looking, Bhagwan is telling what is the sattvic dan? Dan or charity that is done thinking or keeping in mind the requirement of the other person and not expecting anything in return. That is a sattvic. Now, rajasic, what is a rajasic person will do? He will do the dan. Okay, while giving or doing charity, he will do it with reluctance. Means I don't want to do it. From within, I don't want to do it, but I want to show the people that I do charity. So he will perform charity with reluctance. And now that he didn't want to do it and he has done, he will say, I want something in return because I have done. That is Rajasic Dan, which is not good. What is Tamasic Dan? Tamasic Dan, which is given at the wrong place and at the wrong time to unworthy persons without showing respect or with contempt. So what is tamasic dan? That you know that we don't, or you don't know what the other person wants. You just want to do some charity, and that is why you are donating a particular thing. That is tamasic dan. You don't have respect for the other people. Okay, they need certain things. But when you're doing it without showing any respect, just, I am giving, thinking you are superior, then it is a tamasic dan. So remember in life also, when you are giving someone, with what mindset you're giving, you have to understand that. Otherwise, that charity is not right or not good. So the charity should be sattvic. We know all the three categories: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. See which type of charity you are going to do. Then 17.23. Again, very important topic: Om, Tat, and Sat. This has been discussed. This has been declared to be the triple designation of Brahma. By that were created formerly the Brahmanas, the Vedas, and Yagyas. It is said that with Om Tat Sat, everything was created. Om Tat Sat is nothing but Brahma, and everything was created. The Vedas, the sacrifices, the Yagyas, everything was created from it. Now, what is this Om Tat Sat? This has been declared as a triple designation, Nirdesh of Bhagwan. That means Om Tat Sat is the Nirdesh, or you can say something that has been told by Brahma. And Nirdesh generally given in ritualism is that by performing which any defects that are there in the sacred worship are all removed. So whenever you are doing performing a puja or any ritual, when we say Om Tat Sat, if there are any shortfalls in our worship, या हम कहीं गलत जाते हैं किसी जगह पे या कुछ कम ज्यादा हमसे हो जाता है, Om Tat Sat, it removes all the defects. Each action, no doubt, has its fruit, but the fruit depends not only on the action as such, but also on the purity of intentions and motives entertained by a performer. So, each action, whatever we do, of course, is going to have a fruit, karma phal. But the fruit, it does not depend only on the action that we are doing or the karma that we are doing. Bhagwan says that the intention with which you perform that action, that is also equally important. Like dana or daya, if you do it with good heart, with pure intention, that is something that is good, and you will get the fruit as per your intention and not only with your action. If you're doing charity but your intention is wrong, is not good, then you will get the fruit accordingly. However diligent the performer of the sacred acts may be, if the motive behind such acts is foul, they are rendered too ineffective to yield rich dividends. So, Bhagwan here is telling us that physical action, we feel I did this. For example, guests are coming. They are not invited by, suppose, me. My husband invited them, but I don't like them. But they're coming, so my husband is told, so I cook for them. But the intention is like, why they are coming? I didn't want to cook for them. How much work I have to do? I'm going to get so tired. They are just going to come and eat. So the motive or the intention behind my cooking, was it pure? It wasn't pure. So no matter how much I cook, it is not going to give me a good yield. Now, actions performed by all of us may appear similar, but the results, they vary from individual to individual depending on the intentions. So we feel that, okay, I'm good, I behave nicely, I'm also doing nice. Then why that person is getting all the benefits, or why that person is happy? I'm also working hard, but I got only 67%. And how come that person got 89%? So Bhagavan is telling that, okay, you have studied, but what was the intention behind it is also very, very important. What is your thought process? That is equally important. The brilliance and glory of our intentions can be heightened by the remembrance of Lord. So Bhagavan is telling that whatever your intention is, if your intention is good, and if you think of God, जैसे हम लोग बोलते हैं कि even while cooking or even when you're not doing anything, you should continuously remember God. जप करते रहना चाहिए continuously. Then your intentions will also become good automatically. And the intentions, the fruit of the intentions will also be good. You will be bestowed with happiness. Dissociation of oneself from one's matter. Envelopments is at one's awakening and identification with the Lord. To the extent the sacred activity is selfless, to that extent its rewards are pure. So if you perform any activity selflessly, the reward is also going to be like that. If you perform any activity with ego or any negative emotion, then you will get the fruit also in that way. Now, Om Tat Sat is a sentence of 3 words, each denoting one aspect or other of the reality. Om. What is Om? Om represents the transcendental and the pure self, the absolute, the unborn, which is infinite. Substratum upon which the projections of the body, mind, intellect are maintained. That means here Bhagavan is telling about your real self, your soul. That is Om. Actually, Brahma is Om. The term Tat is used in our scriptures to indicate the eternal goal, the changeless, and the ever perfect. In the famous grand declaration of the Vedas, Tat Tvam Asi, the term Tat indicates that from which everything has come, in which everything exists, and into which everything merges back in the end. So we all know Tattvam Asi. That is you. So Tat Bhagavan is saying is something from which everything came into existence. The Sthiti is Tat, and the dissolution is also Tat only. That means where everything merges again back to Tat. So again, Bhagavan is referring it to Brahma only. So Om is also the him, Tat is also him. Now let's understand. Sat. Sat means existence, the principle of existence, functioning through all things, perceived, felt, and thought of in our day-to-day life. That is Sat, the basic principle of existence. We have learned that in Sankhya also. Whatever functioning through all the things perceived, felt, and thought of in our day-to-day life, whatever we are living, whatever we are doing, all that is Sat, the things around us, knowing what is the true meaning of it. What is real, what is unreal, what is Sat, what is Asat. Everything that is around us is created by Him. The existence of everything is because of Him. It is He who is responsible for everything around us. That is Sat. Therefore, the utterance of Om are begun the acts. With the utterance of Om, we begin the acts of sacrifice, gifts, and austerity as enjoyed in the scriptures, always by the students of Brahma. So therefore, you see, anything, any ritual that we do, any yajna that we do, or any good things that we are doing, puja we are doing, we all, or anything, it always starts with Om. Om Bhaskaraya Namaha, Om Ganpateya Namaha. It always starts with Om. The persons who do not desire fruitive rewards but seek to be free from material entanglements, utter the word tat. Huh? Now here Bhagwan is saying, Om. What happens when do we chant Om, or Om is when is it chanted? It begins every activity of sacrifice, yagya, tap. It is done by starting with Om. Now Tat. People who do not want anything in return, no reward, no publicity, no show off, nothing. They are not expecting anything. They want to be free from all the attachments in the world, or whatever yagya or sacrifice or charity they are doing. At that time, tat is used. So you are detached from all the fruitive rewards or actions. You are free from attachment. The word sat is used in the sense of an auspicious act, being established in the performance of sacrifice, penance, and charity. It is also described as the word sat. So, any good thing that you're doing with good heart, with good thoughts, that is done. For that word sat has been used. That is Om, Tat, and Sat. With this, we end our 17th chapter. On Monday, we will start the 18th chapter, that is the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You, Nikita ji, you can close the recording.